Have you ever felt the heavy silence that stretches between two people when communication fades away? That moment when calls stop, texts disappear, and the connection you once cherished seems to vanish into thin air? If your heart has been aching under the weight of unanswered questions or unspoken words, know this: you are not alone. This feeling is universal, yet deeply personal. It's something every soul experiences at some point in life, but it doesn't have to define you. In fact, what if I told you that this very silence could become the catalyst for growth, clarity, and transformation? Stay with me until the end of this video, because by the time we're done, you'll walk away with insights so powerful they might just change how you see yourself and others forever. Silence can feel suffocating, can't it? When someone you care about suddenly stops reaching out, it's easy to spiral into self-doubt. You start questioning everything. Was it something I said? Did I do something wrong? Am I not enough? These thoughts creep in like shadows, clouding your mind and stealing your peace. But here's the truth: the absence of contact isn't always about you. Human relationships are complex webs woven from emotions, fears, expectations, and misunderstandings. Sometimes silence isn't rejection, it's reflection, it's space. And while it may hurt now, it holds within it the seeds of profound personal growth if only you're willing to look closer. Think about it. Why does silence affect us so deeply? Because as humans, we crave connection. We yearn to belong, to be seen, to matter. From the moment we're born, our brains are wired to seek bonds with others. It's how we survive, thrive, and find meaning. So when those bonds seem broken or even strained, it triggers a primal fear of abandonment. But here's where psychology meets empowerment. Understanding this fear gives you power over it. Knowing that your reaction to silence stems from an innate need for connection allows you to step back, breathe, and remind yourself that you are whole, even in moments of disconnection. This realization alone can shift your perspective from victimhood to strength. Now, let's talk about the pain itself. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels unfair. But pain, my friend, is not your enemy. Pain is your teacher. Every ache, every pang of longing carries a message. It tells you what matters most to you. It reveals your values, your desires, and your vulnerabilities. Instead of running from the discomfort, lean into it. Ask yourself, what is this silence teaching me about myself, about my needs, about my boundaries? The answers may surprise you. They may even lead you to discover parts of yourself you didn't know existed. And isn't that worth enduring the temporary storm? Here's another layer to consider. Silence often forces us to confront our own insecurities, those whispers of doubt that tell you you're not good enough or you'll never be loved. They aren't truths. They're echoes of past wounds. Silence amplifies them, yes, but it also gives you the chance to rewrite the narrative. You get to decide who you are outside of someone else's presence. You get to reclaim your worth independent of anyone else's actions. Imagine standing tall in your own light, unshaken by the ebb and flow of external validation. That's the gift silence offers, if you're brave enough to accept it. And here's the secret no one tells you. Silence isn't static, it's dynamic. It moves, shifts, and evolves. Just because things feel frozen now doesn't mean they'll stay that way forever. Life operates in cycles. Seasons of closeness followed by seasons of distance, each playing its role in shaping your journey. Right now, you might be in the midst of a winter season where everything feels still and quiet. But remember, spring always follows winter. Growth always follows dormancy. Trust the process, even when it feels unbearable. Trust that this chapter too will pass. Before we move forward, let me make you a promise. By the end of this video, you won't just understand why silence happens. You'll emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true self. I'll share tools, insights, and strategies to help you navigate this challenging time with grace and resilience. So stick around, because the best is yet to come. Your breakthrough is waiting. Are you ready to claim it? You've acknowledged the weight of silence, and now it's time to honor the emotions swirling inside you. Let's face it, when someone steps back or communication fades, it leaves a void that feels impossible to fill. Loneliness creeps in like an uninvited guest, whispering doubts into your ear. Confusion takes hold, making every unanswered question feel heavier than the last. And frustration? Oh, frustration becomes a constant companion, gnawing at your patience and testing your strength. But here's what you need to hear. These feelings aren't signs of weakness. They're proof of your humanity. You're feeling this way because you care deeply, and caring is one of the most beautiful traits we possess. Think about it. Why do we feel so intensely when connections falter? Because relationships matter. They shape us, challenge us, and help us grow. The pain you're experiencing right now isn't meaningless. It's a reflection of how much value you place on human bonds. That ache in your chest, it's not just loss, it's love. Love for another person, yes, but also love for the idea of connection itself. So instead of pushing these emotions away, embrace them, sit with them. Let them remind you of your capacity to feel, to give, and to hope. Pain doesn't diminish you. It reveals the depth of your heart. But there's something else happening beneath the surface, something many people overlook. These emotions are signals, guiding you toward understanding yourself better. Loneliness, for instance, isn't just about missing someone. It's about recognizing your own need for companionship and belonging. Confusion forces you to slow down, to pause and reflect on what truly matters to you. Frustration pushes you to confront limits, both yours and those of others. Each emotion carries a lesson if you're willing to listen. Instead of resisting them, lean in. Ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to teach me? What can I learn about myself through this experience? When you reframe emotions as teachers rather than enemies, everything changes. Now let's talk about validation. Your feelings deserve to be seen, heard, and respected, not dismissed or ignored. Too often, society tells us to get over it or move on, as though our emotions are inconvenient obstacles. But suppressing your feelings won't make them disappear. It will only bury them deeper, where they'll resurface later in unexpected ways. Instead, give yourself permission to feel fully. Cry if you need to. Write in a journal. Talk to someone you trust. Expressing your emotions isn't a sign of fragility. It's an act of courage. It takes immense strength to face your inner world head on, especially when it feels chaotic. And guess what? Every step you take toward acknowledging your feelings brings you closer to healing. Here's the truth. Emotions don't define you. They guide you. They point you toward areas of growth, resilience, and self-awareness. For example, loneliness might inspire you to nurture other relationships in your life, reminding you of the importance of community. Confusion could lead you to explore new perspectives, helping you see situations from angles you hadn't considered before. Even frustration has its purpose. It fuels determination, driving you to find solutions or create change. Emotions are like waves. They rise, crash, and eventually recede. Don't fight the tide. Ride it. Trust that it will carry you somewhere meaningful. And here's the silver lining. Every emotion you feel right now is temporary. Yes, it may seem overwhelming in this moment, but nothing lasts forever. Not even pain. Just as seasons shift, so do our emotional landscapes. Spring always follows winter, joy always follows sorrow, and clarity always follows confusion. This too shall pass. Until then, allow yourself to exist exactly as you are. Messy, raw, and real. There's beauty in authenticity, in showing up for yourself even when it's hard. Remember, you don't have to have everything figured out to keep moving forward. Progress isn't perfection, it's persistence. So take a deep breath, feel whatever it is you're feeling without judgment. Know that you're stronger than you think, braver than you realize, and more resilient than you give yourself credit for. These emotions aren't breaking you, they're building you. Piece by piece, they're shaping you into someone who understands themselves better, loves more deeply, and navigates life with greater wisdom. And that, my friend, is worth every tear, every sleepless night, and every heavy sigh. Keep going. You're doing better than you know. Now that you've embraced your emotions and allowed yourself to feel deeply, it's time to shift your focus inward. Silence between two people isn't just an ending. It's also a beginning of self-discovery, clarity, and untapped potential. When communication fades, the world around you may seem quieter, but within you, there's a symphony waiting to be heard. This space, this pause in connection is not empty. It's fertile ground for growth. It's an invitation to reconnect with yourself, to rediscover who you are outside of someone else's presence. And trust me, This journey inward holds treasures far greater than you might imagine. Think about it. How often do we rush through life, filling every moment with noise, distractions, or the need to please others? Rarely do we give ourselves permission to simply be, but silence forces us to stop. It strips away the external chatter and leaves us alone with our thoughts, dreams, and desires. At first, this can feel uncomfortable, like standing in a room without furniture. But discomfort is where transformation begins. In this stillness, you have the opportunity to ask yourself questions you've been avoiding. Who am I when no one is watching? What makes my soul come alive? What boundaries do I need to set to protect my peace? These aren't easy questions, but they're necessary ones. And the answers will guide you toward becoming the person you were always meant to be. Let's talk about perspective for a moment. Silence often feels like rejection, but what if it's actually redirect? What if this gap in communication isn't a punishment, but a gift? A chance to recalibrate your priorities and align them with your highest self. Human beings are wired to seek comfort, but real growth happens outside of it. Every challenge, every period of uncertainty pushes you closer to your purpose. Without these moments of discomfort, you wouldn't develop resilience, courage, or wisdom. So instead of viewing silence as something negative, see it as a teacher guiding you toward deeper truths about yourself and your path forward. Here's another powerful insight. Distance creates perspective. When you're caught up in constant interaction, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. You might overlook patterns, habits, or behaviors that aren't serving you, or the relationship. Silence gives you the mental space to step back and evaluate things objectively. Maybe you realize certain dynamics weren't healthy. Perhaps you recognize areas where you compromised too much of yourself. Or maybe you uncover strengths you didn't know you had. Whatever revelations come to light, embrace them. They're pieces of the puzzle that will help you build healthier, more fulfilling connections in the future, whether that's with the same person or someone new. Now, let's address the fear that often accompanies silence. The fear of being forgotten, replaced, or left behind. These fears stem from a place of scarcity, the belief that love, attention, and validation are limited resources. But here's the truth. Abundance exists all around you. You just have to open your eyes to see it. Love isn't confined to one person or one relationship. It flows freely, taking many forms: friendships, family bonds, passions, hobbies, and even the love you give to yourself. When you release the idea that someone else holds the key to your happiness, you unlock a wellspring of joy within you. You become unstoppable because your worth is no longer tied to external approval. It's rooted in your own authenticity. And here's something profound to consider. Sometimes silence teaches us the art of letting go, not out of defeat, but out of surrender. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting the process, trusting that everything unfolds in its own time, in its own way, trusting that some lessons can only be learned through patience and faith. When you stop trying to control the outcome, you create space for miracles to happen. Life has a funny way of surprising us when we least expect it. Opportunities arise, paths converge, and people re-enter our lives in ways we couldn't have predicted. All you have to do is stay open, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward. But let's be clear, this isn't about sitting passively and waiting for things to change. No, this is about using this time to actively invest in yourself. Read books that inspire you. Take walks in nature to clear your mind. Pursue goals that excite you. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. The energy you put into nurturing your own spirit will radiate outward, attracting positivity and possibility into your life. Remember, you are the architect of your reality. Every action you take, no matter how small, shapes the life you're building. So why not make it extraordinary? Let this silence remind you of your strength. You've weathered storms before, and you'll weather this one too. Each trial you face adds another layer to your character, making you wiser, kinder, and more resilient. One day you'll look back on this chapter and see it for what it truly was: a turning point, a catalyst for growth, a stepping stone toward the best version of yourself. Until then, keep showing up for yourself. Keep choosing courage over comfort. Keep believing in the beauty of your journey, even when it feels uncertain. Because deep down, you already know the best is yet to come. Now that you've begun to embrace the lessons silence offers, let's talk about something even more empowering: your worth. Your value doesn't diminish because someone else has stepped back or gone quiet. You are not a reflection of their actions or inactions. You are whole, complete, and enough exactly as you are, regardless of external validation. This truth might feel hard to hold on to when communication fades, but it's one of the most liberating realizations you can ever come to. When you stop tying your self-worth to another person's presence, you reclaim your power, and that changes everything. Think about it this way: your worth isn't up for negotiation. It isn't determined by how often someone texts you, calls you, or reaches out. It's inherent. It's woven into the fabric of who you are. From the moment you were born, you carried within you an irreplaceable uniqueness, a light that no one else can replicate. That light doesn't flicker or fade based on someone else's behavior. It shines steadily, even in moments of doubt or darkness. So instead of questioning your value when silence stretches between you and another person, remind yourself of this undeniable truth. You matter, not because of what you do or who you're with, but simply because you exist. But here's where it gets transformative. Recognizing your worth isn't just about feeling good. It's about living boldly. When you know your value, you start making choices that honor it. You set boundaries without guilt. You walk away from situations that drain your energy. You pursue opportunities that align with your dreams. And most importantly, you stop seeking approval from people who don't appreciate you for who you truly are. Confidence isn't loud or arrogant. It's quiet and steady. It's the ability to stand firm in your truth, even when the world feels uncertain. And once you tap into that confidence, nothing can shake you. Not silence, not distance, not anything. Let's take a deeper dive into what happens when you prioritize your worth. For starters, you begin to attract healthier dynamics into your life. People naturally gravitate toward those who carry themselves with self-respect and assurance. When you show the world that you value yourself, others will follow suit. They'll treat you with the same level of respect and admiration you give to yourself. On the flip side, relationships built on insecurity or neediness tend to fizzle out over time. Why? Because they lack balance. Healthy connections thrive on mutual appreciation, trust, and equality, all of which stem from knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less. Here's another angle to consider. Focusing on your worth shifts your energy. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to light up a room just by walking into it? That's not magic, it's mindset. When you carry yourself with confidence and authenticity, you radiate positivity. You become magnetic, drawing people and opportunities toward you effortlessly. But here's the catch. This energy starts from within. If you're constantly doubting yourself or seeking validation from others, your energy becomes heavy, weighed down by fear and uncertainty. By contrast, when you root yourself in your worth, your energy lifts. You inspire others simply by being unapologetically you. And isn't that the kind of impact you want to have on the world? Now let's address a common misconception. Valuing yourself doesn't mean shutting others out. It means opening yourself up to meaningful, reciprocal relationships. Too often, we confuse self-worth with selfishness, thinking that prioritizing ourselves somehow makes us unkind or uncaring. But the opposite is true. When you honor your worth, you create space for genuine connection. Connections where both parties feel seen, heard, and valued. There's no room for toxicity or imbalance because you've already established your non-negotiables. This clarity not only strengthens your existing relationships, but also paves the way for new ones that align with your highest good. And here's the beautiful part. Owning your worth isn't a destination, it's a practice. Some days you'll feel unstoppable. Other days you'll struggle to remember why you're worthy of love and respect. That's okay. Growth isn't linear, and neither is self-worth. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself day after day. Celebrate small victories along the way. The times you stood your ground, spoke your truth, or walked away from something that didn't serve you. These moments add up, building a foundation of confidence that nothing can crack. So as you navigate this period of silence, let it be a reminder of your infinite value. Silence doesn't define you, your strength does. Your resilience does. Your unwavering belief in your own potential does. Hold tight to that belief, even when it feels challenging, because at the end of the day, the only person who can truly validate you is you. And once you fully step into that awareness, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Keep shining. You deserve every bit of happiness and fulfillment coming your way. Now that you've embraced your worth, let's explore the deeper layers of human behavior. Because understanding why people pull away can be just as empowering as knowing your own value. Silence isn't always about you. Often, it's a reflection of what's happening within the other person. Human beings are complex creatures, driven by emotions, fears, and desires that aren't always visible on the surface. When someone withdraws, it's rarely a simple act. It's usually tied to their own internal struggles, insecurities, or uncertainties. And while this doesn't excuse hurtful actions, it does offer clarity. Their silence is more about them than it is about you. Think about it. How many times have you held back from saying something, reaching out, or taking action because you were afraid? Fear is one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. It stops us from speaking our truth, from being vulnerable, from showing up fully in relationships. Maybe they're afraid of rejection, of saying the wrong thing, or of confronting feelings they don't know how to process. Or perhaps they're overwhelmed by life's pressures and don't know how to communicate that without feeling like a burden. Whatever the reason, fear has a way of creating distance, even when connection is exactly what both parties need. But fear isn't the only culprit. Pride plays a role too. Sometimes people struggle to admit when they're wrong, when they're hurting, or when they need help. Admitting vulnerability requires humility, and not everyone is ready to take that step. Instead of opening up, they retreat, hoping time will heal the tension or that the problem will resolve itself. This isn't malicious, it's human. We all have moments where we let pride get in the way of honesty. Recognizing this doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior, but it does allow you to see the bigger picture. Their withdrawal isn't necessarily a reflection of how they feel about you. It might simply be a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Uncertainty also plays a significant role in why people pull away. Life is unpredictable, and relationships are no exception. Maybe they're unsure about their own feelings, their future, or the direction they want to take. Uncertainty breeds hesitation, and hesitation often leads to silence. They may be wrestling with questions they don't yet have answers to, and instead of sharing that uncertainty, they choose to step back. While this can feel frustrating, even hurtful, it's important to remember that everyone processes emotions differently. Some people need space to sort through their thoughts before they can move forward, and sometimes that space looks like silence. Here's the empowering part. Understanding these dynamics gives you freedom. Freedom from taking their actions personally. Freedom from trying to control or fix something that's beyond your reach. Freedom to focus on what you can influence, your mindset, your growth, and your peace. When you recognize that their behavior is shaped by their own internal world, you stop giving it so much power over yours. You begin to see their silence not as a verdict on your value, but as a chapter in their journey, one that may or may not intersect with yours again. Let's talk about compassion for a moment. Understanding doesn't mean condoning. It means rising above. When you approach someone's withdrawal with empathy rather than anger, you shift the energy of the situation entirely. Compassion allows you to release resentment and make room for healing, for both yourself and potentially the relationship. It doesn't guarantee reconciliation, but it does ensure that you're operating from a place of strength, not bitterness. And that makes all the difference in how you navigate this experience. And here's the silver lining. Every interaction teaches us something valuable about ourselves and others. Whether this silence leads to reconnection or closure, it's shaping you into someone wiser, kinder, and more resilient. You're learning patience, emotional intelligence, and the art of letting go. These lessons might feel heavy now, but they're equipping you with tools you'll carry for the rest of your life. Every challenge leaves an imprint, and this one is no different. The question isn't whether it's hard, it's how you choose to grow through it. So as you sit with this understanding, remind yourself of this. Their silence doesn't define your story. What defines your story is how you respond, with grace, courage, and self-awareness. By choosing to rise above confusion and pain, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of handling anything life throws your way. That's the mark of true strength. not avoiding challenges, but facing them head on and emerging stronger on the other side. Keep leaning into your growth, keep trusting the process, and keep believing in the beauty of your journey. Because every step you take brings you closer to becoming the best version of yourself, and nothing is more inspiring than that. Now that you've gained clarity on the complexities of human behavior, let's turn our focus inward once more. Because uncertainty is not your enemy. It's a teacher, a guide, and sometimes even a gift in disguise. Life rarely hands us clear answers wrapped in neat packages. Instead, it challenges us to grow through ambiguity. And while silence between two people can feel unsettling, it also holds within it an incredible opportunity. The chance to step into your power, embrace the unknown, and trust yourself to navigate whatever comes next. Think about this for a moment. Why does uncertainty feel so uncomfortable? Because as humans, we crave predictability. Our brains are wired to seek patterns, routines, and stability. It's how we make sense of the world. But life doesn't always follow a script. Sometimes it throws curveballs, leaving us scrambling to find solid ground. When communication fades or relationships shift unexpectedly, it disrupts the narrative we've built in our minds. We start asking questions without easy answers. What happens now? Will things ever be the same? How do I move forward? These questions can feel overwhelming, but here's the truth. They're meant to push you beyond your comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen when everything is certain. It happens when you're forced to adapt, evolve, and trust yourself in the face of the unknown. Here's where resilience comes into play. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from challenges, it's about learning to thrive despite them. Every time you lean into uncertainty instead of resisting it, you strengthen your ability to handle whatever life throws your way. You prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought possible. And over time, this builds confidence. Confidence that no matter what unfolds, whether it's reconnection, closure, or something entirely unexpected, you'll have the tools to navigate it with grace and strength. That's the beauty of embracing uncertainty. It transforms fear into fuel for growth. Let's talk about perspective again, but this time with a twist. Uncertainty often feels like standing at a crossroads without a map. But what if those crossroads weren't obstacles? They were opportunities. Opportunities to explore new paths, uncover hidden strengths, and create outcomes you couldn't have imagined before. Silence may leave you feeling stuck, but it also gives you space to dream bigger, aim higher, and envision possibilities you hadn't considered. Maybe this pause is exactly what you needed to refocus your energy, redefine your goals, or rediscover passions you'd set aside. In hindsight, you might realize that this moment of uncertainty was the catalyst for something extraordinary. And here's another powerful insight. Uncertainty teaches patience. The kind of patience that goes deeper than waiting for answers. It's the patience to allow things to unfold naturally, without forcing or rushing the process. Life operates on its own timeline, and some of the most beautiful moments come when we least expect them. By surrendering to the flow of life, you align yourself with its rhythm. This doesn't mean sitting idly by. It means taking inspired action while trusting that everything will fall into place when the time is right. Patience paired with purpose creates magic, and that magic often shows up in ways far greater than we could have planned. But let's get real for a second. Leaning into uncertainty isn't easy. It requires courage, a willingness to sit with discomfort and keep moving forward anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act in spite of it. When you choose to face uncertainty head on, you tap into a wellspring of inner strength that will carry you through not just this situation, but every challenge you encounter in life. Each step you take reinforces your belief in your own capabilities, proving that you're stronger than any storm you face. Now here's the part that ties it all together. Uncertainty reminds you to live fully in the present moment. Too often we get caught up worrying about the future or replaying the past, forgetting that the only moment we truly have is now. This period of silence invites you to slow down, breathe deeply, and immerse yourself in the richness of today. Whether it's savoring a quiet morning, connecting with loved ones, or pursuing a passion project, these small acts of presence anchor you in joy and gratitude. They remind you that even amidst uncertainty, there's beauty to be found, and that beauty sustains you through the toughest times. So as you continue navigating this chapter of your journey, remember this. Uncertainty isn't a roadblock. It's a bridge to deeper self-awareness, richer experiences, and endless potential. Trust yourself to cross it. Trust the process to lead you somewhere meaningful. And above all, trust that you're exactly where you need to be, growing in ways you may not yet fully understand. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep believing in your ability to rise above, and keep walking forward with hope in your heart. Because on the other side of uncertainty lies transformation, and that transformation begins with you. Now that you've embraced uncertainty and learned to trust the process, let's talk about something equally transformative: surrender. Surrender isn't giving up, it's letting go of the need to control every detail, every outcome, every unanswered question. It's understanding that some things are beyond your power to change, and that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's freeing. When you release the grip of control, you create space for life to unfold in its own beautiful, unpredictable way. And often, that's where the magic happens. Think about how much energy we pour into trying to force answers or solutions. When silence stretches between two people, we replay conversations in our minds, craft responses they'll never see, or imagine scenarios that may never come true. All this effort leaves us exhausted, drained, and no closer to resolution. Why? Because control is an illusion. No matter how hard we try, we can't dictate someone else's thoughts, feelings, or actions. What we can do is shift our focus inward, directing our energy toward what truly matters: peace, presence, and personal growth. Letting go of control doesn't mean abandoning hope. It means choosing to invest in yourself instead of chasing something outside your reach. Here's the truth. When you stop trying to manipulate outcomes, you align yourself with the natural flow of life. Life has a rhythm, a timing that works in mysterious ways. Sometimes, forcing things only creates resistance. Other times, stepping back allows room for miracles to happen. Have you ever noticed how some of the most meaningful moments in life came when you least expected them? That's because life operates on its own terms, not ours. By surrendering, you open yourself up to possibilities you couldn't have orchestrated on your own. You allow space for serendipity, synchronicity, and unexpected blessings to enter your world. Let's take a deeper look at why surrender feels so difficult. Control gives us a false sense of security. It makes us believe that if we just try harder, or plan better, or push further, we can guarantee the results we want. But here's the catch. Life isn't linear. Relationships aren't formulas. People aren't puzzles to solve. The harder you cling to control, the tighter the knot becomes. Surrender, on the other hand, loosens that knot. It invites ease, grace, and acceptance into your experience. It reminds you that you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. That sometimes the best thing you can do is simply let go and trust. And here's where surrender gets even more powerful. It teaches humility. Humility isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that you're part of something much bigger than yourself, something you can't fully understand or manage. This realization doesn't diminish your strength, it amplifies it. When you humbly acknowledge your limits, you tap into a deeper well of resilience. You learn to adapt, to flow, to bend without breaking. Like bamboo in a storm, you remain rooted while weathering whatever comes your way. That kind of flexibility is a superpower, one that will serve you far beyond this moment of silence. Now, let's talk about faith. Not necessarily religious faith, but faith in the unseen. Faith in the idea that everything happens for a reason, even when you can't see the bigger picture yet. Faith that the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, is working behind the scenes to bring you exactly what you need, even if it looks different from what you imagined. When you surrender control, you make room for this faith to grow. You start seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones, guiding you toward your highest good. Every twist, turn, and detour has purpose, even if it takes time to reveal itself. Here's another layer to consider. Surrender isn't passive, it's active. It's a conscious choice to redirect your energy toward what you can influence. Your mindset, your actions, your attitude. Instead of obsessing over what others are doing or not doing, focus on nurturing yourself. Take steps that align with your values and goals. Cultivate gratitude for what you have right now, rather than fixating on what's missing. These small acts of intentionality build momentum, creating a ripple effect that transforms your entire outlook. Surrender doesn't mean doing nothing, it means doing what truly matters. Let surrender remind you of one undeniable truth. You are enough, just as you are, in this exact moment. You don't need external validation, answers, or resolutions to prove your worth. Your value isn't tied to someone else's response or lack thereof. It's inherent, unshakable, and infinite. When you release the need to control outcomes, you return to this core truth. You reconnect with the essence of who you are, strong, resilient, and whole. And from that place of wholeness, anything becomes possible. So as you move forward, practice surrender, not as an act of defeat, but as an act of empowerment. Let go of what you can't change and focus on what you can. Trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should, even if the path feels unclear right now. Keep showing up for yourself, keep believing in the beauty of your journey, and keep leaning into the unknown with courage and grace. Because when you surrender control, you reclaim your peace. And that peace is the foundation for everything great that's waiting just around the corner. Now that you've embraced the art of surrender, let's shift our focus to action. Because while letting go is powerful, it's what you do with that clarity that truly transforms your life. Silence may feel like a pause, but it doesn't mean stagnation. This moment offers you a unique opportunity to take control of what you can influence and pour your energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Every step you take toward growth during this time isn't just an investment in your present, it's a gift to your future self. Think about it. When communication fades or relationships shift, it's easy to fall into the trap of waiting for answers, for closure, for someone else to make the first move. But here's the truth. Waiting keeps you stuck. Action sets you free. When you channel your energy into meaningful habits and pursuits, you create momentum. You begin to shape your reality instead of merely reacting to it. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, setting personal goals, or simply committing to small daily acts of self-care, these actions remind you that you're not powerless. On the contrary, you hold immense power. The power to design your days, nurture your spirit, and build a life filled with purpose. Let's talk about intentionality for a moment. Intentional living means making conscious choices that align with your values and aspirations. It's about asking yourself, what kind of person do I want to be right now? How do I want to show up for myself and others? When silence leaves you feeling uncertain, intentional actions anchor you in stability. For example, if you value connection, reach out to friends or family who uplift you. If you crave growth, dedicate time each day to learning something new. If peace is what you seek, practice mindfulness or spend time in nature. These deliberate choices don't erase the discomfort of silence, but they empower you to rise above it by focusing on what truly matters. Here's where discipline comes in, a word often misunderstood as rigid or restrictive. In reality, discipline is freedom in disguise. It's the structure that allows your dreams to flourish. When you commit to consistent, positive actions, even when motivation wanes, you train your mind and body to operate from a place of strength. Discipline turns fleeting inspiration into lasting transformation. So whether it's journaling to process emotions, exercising to boost your mood, or pursuing a passion project that lights you up, every disciplined effort brings you closer to the person you're meant to become. And over time, those efforts compound, creating profound change. Now, let's address fear, the invisible force that often holds us back from taking action. Fear whispers lies. What if I fail? What if no one notices? What if it doesn't work out? But here's the secret. Fear isn't the enemy. It's a signpost pointing you toward growth. The things that scare you most are usually the things that will stretch you the furthest. So instead of letting fear paralyze you, use it as fuel. Take one small step outside your comfort zone today, then another tomorrow. Each step builds courage, proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you imagined. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. And here's the beautiful part. Action inspires action. When you start doing things that light you up, you naturally attract positivity into your life. Your energy shifts. You radiate confidence and purpose, drawing people and opportunities toward you effortlessly. This isn't magic, it's momentum. By taking ownership of your journey, you signal to the universe and to yourself that you're ready for greatness. Opportunities may not come immediately, but they will come, and when they do, you'll be prepared to seize them because you've been actively building the foundation for success. Let's also acknowledge the importance of balance. Taking action doesn't mean burning yourself out or trying to fix everything overnight. Growth is a marathon, not a sprint. Celebrate small wins along the way. The moments you choose kindness over frustration, patience over impulsivity, or progress over perfection. These victories matter because they reflect your commitment to showing up fully for yourself. Balance ensures that you stay grounded while reaching for the stars, allowing you to enjoy the journey as much as the destination. Every action you take during this season of silence plants seeds for the future. Some will bloom quickly, others may take years to blossom. But none of them are wasted. The books you read, the skills you develop, the relationships you nurture, all of these contribute to the tapestry of your life. They prepare you for chapters yet unwritten, equipping you with tools, wisdom, and resilience you'll need down the road. Even if you can't see the full picture now, trust that each step is leading you somewhere meaningful. So as you navigate this period of uncertainty, lean into action, not out of desperation, but out of determination. Focus on what you can control and let those efforts guide you forward. Build habits that honor your worth, nurture your soul, and expand your potential. Keep believing in the beauty of your journey, knowing that every choice you make shapes the masterpiece of your life. Because here's the truth. You are the artist, and this moment is your canvas. Paint boldly, live intentionally, and watch as your world transforms in ways you never thought possible. Now that you've taken ownership of your actions and embraced the power of intentional living, let's talk about energy, the invisible force that shapes every interaction, decision, and outcome in your life. Energy isn't just a concept, it's a currency. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, and the vibrations you emit ripple outward, influencing not only your own reality, but also the people and opportunities around you. When silence stretches between two people, it can be tempting to let negativity creep in, to dwell on what's missing or focus on feelings of rejection. But here's the truth. Positivity attracts positivity. And when you consciously choose to radiate good energy, you create a magnetic pull toward everything you desire. Think about how energy works for a moment. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the heaviness of tension, or conversely, the warmth of joy? That's because energy is contagious. It flows from person to person, shaping environments and relationships without words ever being spoken. Now apply that understanding to yourself. When you carry frustration, sadness, or anger, those emotions don't just stay within you, they project outward, affecting how others perceive you and even how they respond to you. On the flip side, when you cultivate calmness, gratitude, and optimism, you invite harmony and connection into your world. Your energy sets the tone for yourself and everyone around you. Here's where intentionality plays a crucial role again. You get to decide what kind of energy you bring to each day. Will it be heavy with doubt and fear, or light with hope and possibility? The choice is yours, and it starts with awareness. Pay attention to how you're feeling throughout the day. Are you holding on to resentment about the silence in your life? Are you replaying scenarios that leave you feeling drained? If so, gently redirect your focus. Choose thoughts that uplift you. Practice gratitude for the lessons this experience is teaching you. Visualize outcomes that excite and inspire you. These small shifts in mindset may seem simple, but their impact is profound. They transform your inner world, which in turn transform your outer reality. Let's dive deeper into the idea of vibration. Everything in the universe operates at a frequency, including you. When your energy aligns with higher frequencies like love, peace, and abundance, you naturally attract more of those qualities into your life. Conversely, when you operate from lower frequencies like fear, anger, or scarcity, you repel the very things you seek. This isn't woo-woo philosophy, it's science-backed psychology. Studies show that our emotional states directly influence our behavior, decisions, and even the way others interact with us. So, if you want to draw positive experiences and meaningful connections into your life, start by raising your vibration. Smile more, speak kindly to yourself and others. Surround yourself with beauty, inspiration, and people who lift you up. And here's the empowering part. You don't need anyone else's cooperation to change your energy. Unlike external circumstances, which are often beyond your control, your internal state is entirely within your hands. Even in moments of silence or disconnection, you have the power to choose how you show up. Will you let frustration consume you, or will you rise above it with grace and resilience? Every time you opt for positivity over negativity, you strengthen your ability to navigate challenges with ease. Over time, this becomes second nature. You'll find yourself responding to difficulties not with resistance, but with curiosity and openness. Now let's talk about consistency. Raising your energy isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, maintaining high vibrational energy requires ongoing effort. Start small. Incorporate rituals that fuel your spirit. Morning affirmations, deep breathing exercises, or moments of quiet reflection. Celebrate progress, no matter how incremental. Remember, transformation happens gradually, often in ways you don't immediately notice. But trust that every positive thought, word, and action contributes to the momentum building inside you. Finally, let your energy serve as a beacon, a signal to the universe and to others that you're ready for greatness. People are drawn to those who exude confidence, warmth, and authenticity. Opportunities flow toward those who radiate positivity and purpose. By choosing to embody these qualities, even during challenging times, you position yourself for success in ways you might not yet see. Silence doesn't dim your light. It gives you space to shine brighter. And when you commit to showing up as your highest self, you become unstoppable. So as you continue navigating this chapter of your journey, focus on cultivating energy that empowers you. Let go of anything that weighs you down and embrace habits that elevate your spirit. Trust that the positivity you nurture within will ripple outward, creating waves of change in your life and beyond. Keep believing in the power of your energy to shape your reality, and watch as doors open, hearts connect, and dreams unfold in ways you never imagined possible. Because when you radiate good energy, you create a life worth celebrating. Now that you've embraced the power of energy and its ability to shape your reality, let's explore what silence truly leaves behind. Lessons. Yes, lessons. Every moment of disconnection, every unanswered message, every unspoken word carries within it a hidden gift waiting for you to unwrap it. Life doesn't throw challenges at us without purpose. Even in the quietest moments, there are profound truths to uncover. And when you begin to see silence not as an obstacle, but as a teacher, everything changes. Think about this. What if the silence between two people isn't just about them? It's also about you. What if it's here to show you something about yourself that you might have overlooked? Maybe it's teaching you patience, the kind that stretches beyond fleeting moments and into lifelong resilience. Perhaps it's revealing areas where you need stronger boundaries, or showing you how deeply you value connection. Or maybe it's highlighting patterns in your relationships that no longer serve your growth. These insights may feel uncomfortable at first, but they're golden tickets to becoming the best version of yourself. Growth rarely comes wrapped in comfort. Often it arrives disguised as struggle. Here's where curiosity becomes your greatest ally. Instead of resisting silence or labeling it as negative, lean into it with an open mind. Ask yourself, what is this experience trying to teach me? How can I use this time to understand myself better? When you approach life with curiosity instead of judgment, you unlock a treasure trove of wisdom. For example, you might realize that silence has given you permission to slow down, to reflect on what truly matters. You might discover strengths you didn't know you had, or passions you'd forgotten about. Every lesson, no matter how small, adds another layer to your story, one that makes you wiser, kinder, and more resilient. Let's talk about perspective again, but this time through the lens of gratitude. It might sound counterintuitive to feel grateful for something as painful as silence, But gratitude has a way of reframing even the hardest experiences. Gratitude reminds you that every challenge holds value, that every tear shed waters the seeds of growth. So instead of focusing solely on what's missing, take a moment to appreciate what silence has brought into your life. Has it pushed you to prioritize self-care? Has it deepened your understanding of human emotions? Has it sparked creativity or inspired new goals? When you shift your focus from lack to abundance, you transform pain into purpose. And here's the beautiful part. Lessons aren't limited to one interpretation. The same experience can teach different things to different people. And that's the magic of personal growth. Silence might teach one person the importance of communication while teaching another the beauty of solitude. It might inspire someone to chase their dreams while encouraging someone else to heal old wounds. There's no right or wrong way to learn from life's challenges. What matters is that you stay open to the process. Each lesson is tailored specifically for you, designed to guide you closer to your highest potential. Now, let's address the long-term impact of these lessons. They don't just fade once the immediate discomfort passes. They stay with you, shaping who you become. Every insight gained during this period of silence builds a foundation for future success, happiness, and fulfillment. You'll carry these lessons into every relationship, every decision, and every challenge you face moving forward. They'll remind you of your strength when times get tough and keep you grounded when life feels uncertain. In essence, the lessons you learn now will continue to serve you for years to come, quietly guiding you toward a life aligned with your deepest values. Now that you've uncovered the lessons hidden within silence, it's time to turn your focus inward once more. Because trust is the foundation of everything. Trust in yourself, trust in the process, and trust in your ability to navigate uncertainty with grace and strength. When communication fades or relationships shift, it's easy to question not just others, but also your own instincts. Doubt creeps in, whispering that maybe you're not enough, that maybe you've missed something, or that maybe you can't handle what lies ahead. But here's the truth. You are stronger than your doubts. And rebuilding trust within yourself is the key to unlocking a future filled with confidence, clarity, and peace. Think about how trust works for a moment. Trust isn't given, it's earned. You wouldn't expect someone else to trust you without consistency, honesty, and effort, right? The same principle applies to trusting yourself. Every time you honor your boundaries, follow through on your commitments, or make decisions aligned with your values, you strengthen the bond you have with your inner self. This relationship with you is the most important one you'll ever nurture. It's the anchor that keeps you steady when life feels chaotic. So if silence has shaken your faith in others, use this moment to rebuild faith in yourself. Prove to yourself that you're reliable, resilient, and capable of handling whatever comes next. Here's where self-compassion steps in, a vital ingredient in rebuilding trust. Too often, we hold ourselves to impossible standards, expecting perfection even in the face of challenges. But growth doesn't happen in perfection, it happens in progress. Be gentle with yourself as you navigate this season of silence. Acknowledge your efforts, celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and forgive yourself for missteps along the way. Self-compassion creates space for healing, allowing you to move forward without carrying the weight of guilt or shame. When you treat yourself with kindness, you reinforce the belief that you deserve trust, not because you're flawless, but because you're human. Let's talk about intuition, the quiet voice inside you that knows far more than your conscious mind sometimes realizes. Silence often forces us to tune out external noise and listen to our inner guidance. Maybe you've felt nudges telling you to slow down, to set boundaries, or to take a leap of faith. Those nudges aren't random. They're messages from your deepest wisdom, guiding you toward alignment with your true path. Rebuilding trust means learning to lean into that intuition, even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. It means honoring what feels right for you, not what others expect or demand. And the more you trust your instincts, the clearer your direction becomes. And here's the empowering part. Trust isn't static. It grows over time. Just like a muscle, it strengthens with consistent practice. Every decision you make based on self-awareness and authenticity builds that muscle. Every boundary you set reinforces your belief in your worth. Every challenge you overcome proves that you're capable of thriving, no matter the circumstances. Trust isn't something you achieve overnight. It's something you cultivate daily, one intentional choice at a time. And as it grows, so does your confidence in navigating life's twists and turns. Now let's address fear, the shadow that often blocks trust. Fear tells you that you're not ready, that you'll fail, or that you'll get hurt again. But here's the secret. Fear isn't always wrong, it's just cautious. It wants to protect you from pain, but sometimes it holds you back from growth. Building trust means acknowledging fear without letting it dictate your actions. It means taking bold steps forward even when fear tries to pull you back. Each time you act despite fear, you prove to yourself that you're braver than you think, and that bravery deepens your trust in your own resilience. Finally, let trust remind you of one undeniable truth. You are your own greatest ally. No matter who comes or goes in your life, no one will ever know you as deeply as you know yourself. No one will ever care for you as fiercely as you can care for yourself. By rebuilding trust within, you create an unshakable foundation for everything else in your life. Relationships may ebb and flow. Opportunities may come and go, but the trust you place in yourself remains constant. It's the light that guides you through darkness, the anchor that keeps you grounded, and the fuel that propels you toward your dreams. So as you continue on this journey, commit to nurturing trust within yourself. Honor your needs, respect your boundaries, and listen to your intuition. Let every action you take reinforce the belief that you are worthy of love, respect, and success. Keep reminding yourself that you are capable of handling whatever life brings your way, and that includes the silence you're navigating now. Because here's the truth. When you trust yourself fully, nothing can truly shake you. And from that place of unwavering trust, because here's the ultimate takeaway. The less you explain yourself, the more you embody confidence. Confidence that says, I know who I am, and I don't need to prove it to anyone. Confidence that radiates outward, inspiring others to embrace their own paths without apology. So rise above the noise, silence the critics, and trust that your actions will always speak louder than your words. After all, the most impactful stories are written not in explanations, but in achievements. Freedom isn't something you find, it's something you create. And one of the most profound ways to cultivate freedom is through detachment. Detachment doesn't mean indifference or isolation. It means releasing your grip on things that no longer serve you, emotions that weigh you down, and relationships that drain your spirit. When you detach from toxicity, whether it's a person, a situation, or even a mindset, you reclaim your power. You step out of the chaos and into clarity, creating space for peace, purpose, and possibility to flow into your life. Think about the last time you held on to something or someone that was clearly holding you back. Maybe it was a friendship that left you feeling depleted rather than uplifted. Maybe it was a job that stifled your creativity instead of fueling it. Or maybe it was a belief about yourself, a story you kept repeating in your mind that limited your potential. Whatever it was, clinging to it didn't bring you closer to happiness. It anchored you to stagnation. But here's the liberating truth. Letting go isn't losing, it's gaining. It's gaining freedom from what no longer aligns with your highest good. Detachment requires courage because it forces you to confront fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of judgment. These fears whisper lies, telling you that staying stuck is safer than stepping away. But deep down, you know better. You know that growth happens outside of comfort zones, that transformation begins where familiarity ends. Each time you release something toxic, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears. You remind yourself that you don't need external validation to feel whole, and that realization sets you free. Now, let's talk about why detachment feels so hard yet yields such incredible rewards. Human beings are wired for connection, but not all connections are healthy. Some ties bind us not in love, but in limitation. They keep us tethered to old patterns, outdated beliefs, and unfulfilling dynamics. When you detach from these anchors, you allow yourself to rise. You break free from cycles of negativity and open yourself to new opportunities, fresh perspectives, and deeper fulfillment. This process isn't just liberating, it's transformative. It reshapes how you see yourself and the world around you. And here's the beautiful irony. Detachment brings you closer to what truly matters. By letting go of toxic influences, you make room for meaningful ones. You attract people who inspire you, environments that nurture you, and experiences that challenge and elevate you. Detachment clears the clutter, leaving only what enriches your soul. It's like cleaning out a closet. You remove the items you no longer wear to make space for pieces that reflect who you are now, not who you used to be. In this way, detachment becomes an act of self-love, a declaration that you deserve better. Of course, detaching isn't always straightforward. Sometimes it involves setting boundaries with people who refuse to respect them. Other times, it means walking away entirely, even when it hurts. But pain is part of the process. Growth rarely comes without discomfort, and detachment is no exception. The key is to focus on the long-term gain rather than the short-term loss. Remind yourself why you're choosing to let go. Visualize the future you're creating, a future filled with lightness, joy, and alignment. Let that vision guide you through the temporary ache of separation. There's another layer to detachment. It teaches you resilience. When you let go of something familiar, you learn to trust yourself more deeply. You realize that you can survive uncertainty, navigate change, and rebuild after loss. This knowledge strengthens your inner foundation, making you less dependent on external stability and more confident in your ability to adapt. Over time, you become someone who thrives in flux, who sees challenges as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Detachment equips you with the tools to face life's unpredictability with grace and grit. So, how do you practice detachment effectively? Start by identifying what needs to go. Reflect on the areas of your life where you feel stuck, drained, or uninspired. What or who is keeping you there? Once you've pinpointed these sources of toxicity, take small, deliberate steps toward release. Set boundaries with difficult people, limit exposure to negative environments, challenge limiting beliefs by replacing them with empowering truths. Remember, detachment doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process of shedding layers until you uncover the essence of who you are. And here's the transformative part. Detachment shifts your perspective. When you stop clinging to what's harmful, you begin to appreciate what's healing. You notice the beauty in simplicity, the strength in solitude, and the wisdom in stillness. You develop a deeper connection to yourself, tuning into your needs, desires, and dreams without distraction. This heightened awareness allows you to live with intention, ensuring that every decision you make aligns with your values and vision. Detachment is more than a strategy. It's a state of being, a state where you are unburdened by the past, unafraid of the future, and fully present in the now, where you trust yourself enough to let go and wise enough to know when to hold on, where you embrace change not as a threat but as an opportunity to evolve. Detachment frees you from the weight of what no longer serves you, allowing you to soar toward what does. Because here's the ultimate truth. True freedom comes from within. It's the result of releasing what binds you and embracing what empowers you. When you detach from toxicity, you create space for miracles. Miracles of growth, of connection, of transformation. So take a deep breath, loosen your grip, and trust that letting go will lead you exactly where you're meant to be. After all, the wings of freedom are forged in the fire of release, and they're waiting for you to spread them wide. Success isn't built in grand gestures. It's crafted in small, consistent actions. Too often we get caught up waiting for the big breakthrough, the life-changing opportunity, the overnight recognition, the moment everything falls perfectly into place. But here's the truth. Those moments don't just happen. They're the result of countless tiny victories along the way, each one laying the foundation for something greater. Celebrating these small wins isn't just about feeling good. It's about fueling your momentum, reinforcing your belief in yourself, and reminding you that progress is worth honoring, no matter how incremental it may seem. Think about the journey you're on right now. Maybe you've taken steps toward a goal that feels impossibly far away. Perhaps you've started saying no to distractions, setting boundaries, or focusing on your own growth. These might not feel like monumental achievements, but they are. Every time you choose silence over reaction, focus over chaos, or self-trust over doubt, you're moving closer to the person you're becoming. And those seemingly minor decisions, they're proof that you're capable of change, even when the finish line isn't in sight. Small wins matter because they remind you that forward motion is still motion, and every step counts. But why do we overlook these moments so easily? Why do we dismiss the power of small victories in favor of chasing something bigger? It's because we live in a world obsessed with instant gratification. Social media bombards us with highlight reels, making it easy to compare our behind the scenes to someone else's final cut. We start believing that success should be loud, flashy, and immediate. But real growth doesn't work that way. It's quiet, steady, and often invisible until it suddenly isn't. By celebrating small wins, you train yourself to value the process as much as the outcome. And that's where true fulfillment lies. Now let's talk about the psychology behind this. Human beings thrive on positive reinforcement when you acknowledge your progress, no matter how small. You activate the reward centers of your brain. This releases dopamine, the chemical responsible for motivation and pleasure. In simple terms, celebrating small wins makes you want to keep going. It creates a cycle of achievement and encouragement, propelling you further along your path. Each victory becomes a building block, stacking up until you realize just how far you've come. Without these celebrations, it's easy to lose sight of your progress and fall into frustration or self-doubt. And here's the transformative part. Small wins build resilience. Life will throw obstacles your way, setbacks, failures, moments of uncertainty. But when you celebrate the little triumphs, you create an emotional buffer. You remind yourself that even in the toughest times, there's evidence of growth. Did you get out of bed when you didn't feel like it? Win. Did you resist the urge to engage in drama? Win. Did you take one step closer to your dream, however small? Win. These moments add up, proving that you're stronger than any challenge you face. They teach you to find joy in effort, not just results. So how do you make celebrating small wins a habit? Start by shifting your mindset. Instead of measuring success by external milestones, focus on internal progress. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? Write it down. Say it out loud. Let yourself feel proud of what you accomplished, even if it seems insignificant to others. Keep a journal dedicated to your wins, big and small, and revisit it whenever you need a boost. Over time, you'll see patterns of growth that inspire confidence and determination. There's another layer to this. Celebrating small wins fosters gratitude. Gratitude is more than a buzzword. It's a powerful tool for transformation. When you pause to appreciate your progress, you shift your perspective from lack to abundance. You stop focusing on what you haven't achieved and start recognizing all that you have. This practice rewires your brain to seek positivity, creating a ripple effect that touches every area of your life. Suddenly, challenges feel less daunting, setbacks feel less permanent, and opportunities feel more abundant. Gratitude amplifies your ability to see the beauty in the journey, not just the destination. Of course, celebrating small wins doesn't mean ignoring the work ahead. It means balancing ambition with appreciation. There's nothing wrong with striving for greatness, but there's also nothing noble about dismissing your efforts along the way. Acknowledging your progress doesn't slow you down. It energizes you to keep pushing forward. It reminds you that success isn't a single event. It's a series of moments, each one worthy of celebration. Small wins are the threads that weave together a meaningful life. They connect the dots between where you started and where you're headed. They remind you that greatness isn't reserved for the chosen few. It's available to anyone willing to show up day after day and give their best effort. So honor your journey. Celebrate the steps you've taken, the lessons you've learned, and the person you're becoming. Trust that every small win is a piece of the puzzle, bringing you closer to the masterpiece you're creating. Success isn't about reaching a specific point. It's about who you become along the way. And the only way to become the best version of yourself is to recognize and celebrate the growth happening within you, moment by moment, win by win. So take pride in your progress. Let it light your path and guide you forward. After all, the greatest achievements are built on the foundation of countless small victories, and yours are waiting to be celebrated. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? Just when you think you're on the right path, focused, determined, and aligned with your purpose, someone or something tries to pull you off course. Maybe it's a skeptical comment from a friend, a dismissive remark from a colleague, or even an unsolicited opinion from a stranger. These distractions come disguised as obstacles, tempting you to second-guess yourself, to question your journey, or to abandon your goals altogether. But here's the empowering truth. Not every voice deserves your attention, and certainly not at the expense of your dream. Think about the people who try to distract you. What drives them? Often it's not malice, but insecurity. They project their own fears, doubts, and limitations onto you because your progress makes them uncomfortable. Your growth forces them to confront what they've been avoiding in their own lives. And while this isn't your responsibility to fix, it's important to recognize it for what it is, a reflection of their struggles, not a judgment of your potential. When you understand this dynamic, it becomes easier to rise above their noise and stay focused on your path. Now, let's talk about why these distractions feel so personal and how to stop letting them derail you. Human beings are wired to seek connection and approval. From an early age, we learn that harmony is valuable and conflict is uncomfortable. So when someone challenges us, our instinct is to react, to explain, defend, or justify ourselves. But here's the liberating realization. You don't have to engage. Every moment you spend trying to convince someone of your worth is a moment stolen from your progress. Their resistance isn't about you, it's about them. And once you internalize that, you free yourself from the need to prove anything to anyone. There's another layer to this. Distractions often masquerade as opportunities. They lure you with promises of validation, shortcuts, or quick fixes. But they rarely lead where you truly want to go. That coworker who insists you join yet another committee, it might seem like a chance to shine, but does it align with your priorities? The friend who pressures you into socializing when you'd rather recharge, it might feel like camaraderie, but does it nourish your spirit? Learning to discern between genuine support and empty distractions is crucial. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not every invitation deserves a yes. So, how do you stay grounded when others try to sway you? Start by anchoring yourself in your vision. Revisit the goals you've set, the values you hold dear, and the person you're striving to become. Write them down if you must, creating a tangible reminder of what matters most. Then, whenever someone attempts to distract you, ask yourself, does this serve my purpose? Does this bring me closer to my dreams? If the answer is no, let it go. Trust that your time and energy are too precious to waste on detours that don't lead to your destination. And here's the powerful part. Staying focused in the face of distractions builds resilience. Each time you resist the urge to veer off course, you strengthen your ability to navigate adversity. You train yourself to tune out the noise and trust your inner compass. Over time, this practice transforms you into someone unshakable, someone who knows their worth, guards their peace, and refuses to be swayed by external chaos. Distractions lose their power over you because you've claimed authority over your mind and your mission. Of course, ignoring distractions doesn't mean isolating yourself. There will always be people who genuinely care about your success and offer constructive feedback. Surround yourself with those individuals, the ones who challenge you to grow, celebrate your wins, and remind you of your strength when self-doubt creeps in. These relationships are lifelines, providing encouragement and accountability without compromising your focus. Lean on them during tough times, but never let anyone else dictate the pace or direction of your journey. There's another truth to embrace. Distractions aren't inherently bad. They're simply tests of your commitment. Life will throw curveballs, temptations, and moments of doubt your way, but each one is an opportunity to reaffirm your dedication. Will you allow temporary setbacks to define you, or will you use them as stepping stones towards something greater? The choice is yours, and it's a choice you'll make countless times along the way. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you reinforce your belief in yourself, and that belief becomes your greatest asset. Distractions are inevitable, but defeat is optional. You get to decide how much influence they have over you. By staying rooted in your purpose, surrounding yourself with positivity, and refusing to engage with negativity, you create a shield against the forces that seek to pull you down. You remind yourself that your journey is sacred, your goals are non-negotiable, and your dreams are worth protecting. The world will always have opinions, but only one matters, yours. When you commit to focusing on yourself and staying silent amidst the noise, you declare to the universe that nothing will stand in the way of your greatness. So the next time someone tries to distract you, smile, knowing they can't shake your resolve. Keep moving forward, keep trusting yourself, and watch as the distractions fade into the background, leaving only the brilliance of your unwavering focus shining brightly ahead. Life has a way of testing us, doesn't it? Just when you think you're on the right path, focused, determined, and aligned with your purpose, someone or something tries to pull you off course. Maybe it's a skeptical comment from a friend, a dismissive remark from a colleague, or even an unsolicited opinion from a stranger. These distractions come disguised as obstacles, tempting you to second-guess yourself, to question your journey, or to abandon your goals altogether. But here's the empowering truth. Not every voice deserves your attention, and certainly not at the expense of your dreams. Think about the people who try to distract you. What drives them? Often it's not malice, but insecurity. They project their own fears, doubts, and limitations onto you because your progress makes them uncomfortable. Your growth forces them to confront what they've been avoiding in their own lives. And while this isn't your responsibility to fix, it's important to recognize it for what it is, a reflection of their struggles, not a judgment of your potential. When you understand this dynamic, it becomes easier to rise above their noise and stay focused on your path. Now, let's talk about why these distractions feel so personal and how to stop letting them derail you. Human beings are wired to seek connection and approval. From an early age, we learn that harmony is valuable and conflict is uncomfortable. So when someone challenges us, our instinct is to react, to explain, defend, or justify ourselves. But here's the liberating realization. You don't have to engage. Every moment you spend trying to convince someone of your worth is a moment stolen from your progress. Their resistance isn't about you, it's about them. And once you internalize that, you free yourself from the need to prove anything to anyone. There's another layer to this. Distractions often masquerade as opportunities. They lure you with promises of validation, shortcuts, or quick fixes. But they rarely lead where you truly want to go. That coworker who insists you join yet another committee? It might seem like a chance to shine, but does it align with your priorities? The friend who pressures you into socializing when you'd rather recharge? It might feel like camaraderie, but does it nourish your spirit? Learning to discern between genuine support and empty distractions is crucial. Not everything that glitters is gold, and not every invitation deserves a yes. So how do you stay grounded when others try to sway you? Start by anchoring yourself in your vision. Revisit the goals you've set, the values you hold dear, and the person you're striving to become. Write them down if you must, creating a tangible reminder of what matters most. Then, whenever someone attempts to distract you, ask yourself, does this serve my purpose? Does this bring me closer to my dreams? If the answer is no, let it go. Trust that your time and energy are too precious to waste on detours that don't lead to your destination. And here's the powerful part. Staying focused in the face of distractions builds resilience. Each time you resist the urge to veer off course, you strengthen your ability to navigate adversity. You train yourself to tune out the noise and trust your inner compass. Over time, this practice transforms you into someone unshakable, someone who knows their worth, guards their peace, and refuses to be swayed by external chaos. Distractions lose their power over you because you've claimed authority over your mind and your mission. Of course, ignoring distractions doesn't mean isolating yourself. There will always be people who genuinely care about your success and offer constructive feedback. Surround yourself with those individuals, the ones who challenge you to grow, celebrate your wins, and remind you of your strength when self-doubt creeps in. These relationships are lifelines, providing encouragement and accountability without compromising your focus. Lean on them during tough times, but never let anyone else dictate the pace or direction of your journey. There's another truth to embrace. Distractions aren't inherently bad. They're simply tests of your commitment. Life will throw curveballs, temptations, and moments of doubt your way, but each one is an opportunity to reaffirm your dedication. Will you allow temporary setbacks to define you, or will you use them as stepping stones towards something greater? The choice is yours, and it's a choice you'll make countless times along the way. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you reinforce your belief in yourself, and that belief becomes your greatest asset. In the end, distractions are inevitable, but defeat is optional. You get to decide how much influence they have over you. By staying rooted in your purpose, surrounding yourself with positivity, and refusing to engage with negativity, you create a shield against the forces that seek to pull you down. You remind yourself that your journey is sacred, your goals are non-negotiable, and your dreams are worth protecting. Because here's the ultimate takeaway. The world will always have opinions, but only one matters: yours. When you commit to focusing on yourself and staying silent amidst the noise, you declare to the universe that nothing will stand in the way of your greatness. So the next time someone tries to distract you, smile knowing they can't shake your resolve. Keep moving forward, keep trusting yourself, and watch as the distractions fade into the background, leaving only the brilliance of your unwavering focus shining brightly ahead.